And a position to where you can see Big Dave behind me.
Daddy Drax.
I'm not calling him that.
Daddy Drax.
Batista. Hi, I'm Justin Boyd.
Hi, I'm George Luna.
I'm Brittany Pacheco, and we are the Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to another edition of the Watchers in the Basement. And today we are here to talk about, and if you look just behind me, you can probably tell, we're talking about Dave Bautista.
Also known as Daddy. Daddy. Sorry, I messed it up. Go ahead.
No, say what you're going to say. Finish it. Compose yourself.
Daddy Drax. Daddy Dave. Daddy Batista.
Okay. We're not going to call him that. His name is Dave Bautista. He was the animal from WWE.
Daddy animal.
So you're probably wondering, like, why are y'all talking about Batista here in mid to late May? And my answer is, have you maybe seen the internet the last week or so? Because Dave Bautista has become the new king of all media. Like, there are, especially like in what we talk about, which is, you know, entertainment, superhero stuff. Like, there's so many like little news stories about him. And I'm just going to run through them real quick. First off, on May 21st, which is this coming Friday, Dave Bautista is starring in Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
Oh God.
Which, no, it's going to be on Netflix. It's in theaters right now, but it's also going to be on Netflix on Friday. I think next week we need to review the movie because, like, I think we should all watch it.
4 hours.
It's 2.5 hours, I believe. Y'all should watch the trailer on Netflix. It's a really good trailer.
Is it like a zombie movie?
Yeah, it's a zombie movie. It's a zombie like heist movie, and they're in Las Vegas.
Oh God, it's time heist.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch it. Whatever.
Just watch the trailer. It's on Netflix. It's an excellent trailer. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a zombie person. So
how many scenes were in slow motion in the trailer?
There's a few.
I fucking knew it.
Not gonna lie.
I knew it.
I wonder if it's going to beat the amount of time that slow-mo in. Okay, it was like what, 20 something minutes for
it was
Justice
24
League?
Minutes out of the 4 hours and 2 minutes or whatever.
Okay, but if it's still that amount of time in a 2.5 hour movie.
Well, I'll put it this way. It's a 3-minute trailer, and I would say about 15% of it's in slow-mo.
Wow.
Just I'm not joking, not at all. But
I know.
But you know, the thing is with Zach, like, his movies look good. I mean, it might not be any good, but it looks fun. You know, like so anyway,
we might be shot in his backyard. Just out of curiosity.
I don't think so. No, it was supposed to come out last year, obviously, but because of, you know, the pandemic.
Never heard.
So he's right. He's starring in that movie, which comes out on Friday, right? Okay. He recently revealed that he turned down a role in the Fast and the Furious. So he could have been a character in Fast and the Furious, which
I'm guessing it would have been what's his name's brother.
Yes.
It has to be.
It has to be.
That would have been way better than John Cena.
I think so too.
What if he was The Rock's brother?
No.
No.
Isn't it amazing that we've started this show and we're 3 or 4 minutes in, and we've mentioned 3 actors and they're all wrestlers. They're all former wrestlers. Yeah. John Cena, Dave Bautista,
and The Rock.
The Rock. So
they can all be daddies. That's fine.
No,
sorry.
Like, you're derailing the show. Okay.
Am I though?
Yes.
Come on, ladies, help me out here.
I think isn't one of his movies like a daddy daycare kind of movie or something, like Dad Patrol or something?
Maybe.
Maybe.
He had a movie come out like a year or so ago that was like, it looked awful. And I like John Cena, but like, it was some kind of like daycare thing. Anyway.
I only remember, of course, the Eddie Murphy, you know, Daddy Daycare movie, but then Vin Diesel, I know, not a wrestler, but he did The Pacifier. He was like a Navy SEAL.
I remember that.
Babysitting kids or something like that. That was actually kind of a cute movie, but now I'm derailing this show. Justin, please.
So, again, Dave Bautista, he could have been in the Fast and Furious. He turned it down. he actually, whenever he was asked about doing a Fast and Furious movie with Universal, he said that he would instead like to do a Gears of War movie, which that's a popular video game that I know nothing about. But anyway, so he wanted to do one of those movies. He was just added to the crazy cast of Knives Out 2, which also includes Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, and Kathryn Hahn.
So, okay, I'm gonna stop you right here because the fact that with Knives Out, with Chris Evans, Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, I mean, and Ben Affleck's now ex, can't even think of her name right now, but
Ana de Armas.
Thank you.
Yep.
Sure. I mean, that movie, I mean, it seemed like it was a one-off. So the fact that they're doing like a Knives Out 2 and 3 and it's gonna be on Netflix, like
2 and 3 are gonna be on Netflix. They signed a big deal for that.
So I'm guessing, and maybe Justin, is this going to be kind of like your equivalency to the American Horror Story? It seems like every year they've got like a new theme, like a new cast, with the exception of maybe Sarah Paulson. But like, how are they going to do this Knives Out thing? Is Daniel Craig going to be that consistent?
Yeah, he's going to be the detective, the inspector, whatever. And this will just be, it'll just be a new case. And so, yeah. So,
interesting.
But anyway, Edward Norton, Kathryn Hahn, and Dave Bautista. That's pretty interesting cast so far.
All been in Marvel. Wow.
Yeah. Yes, they have.
Yeah.
So we got that. Dave Bautista is going to be in Dune, which comes out in October.
That movie looks badass.
Yeah,
wow.
And that's going to be one of those movies that's like in theaters, but also on HBO Max at the same time. That's expected to be a big hit movie. But then the thing that really caught my eye was in one of these recent interviews, Batista mentioned that he thought that Marvel, in a sort of way, they kind of missed the boat on doing the Drax storyline from the comics, because in the comics, Drax is not a comedic character. He's, Drax the Destroyer, and he has this whole past where, I think we learned about it in Guardians 1, where his family, his whole planet's taken out by Thanos. And so in the comics, he's more of a brutal character. And obviously the movies, he's played for comedy mostly. And so Dave Bautista was saying that, hey, like, I'm only going to be in these movies for so much longer. We've got the Thor movie coming up, which I believe they're going to be in, the Guardians will be in. And then Guardians 3 comes out about 2 years from now. I think it's May of 2023. And then after that, he said he's done. And which, actors do that all the time. I don't know that I totally believe that. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back for a Guardians 4 or whatever down the road. But the interesting part to me was the fact that he, not only did he say that he's done with the character, he said he wants Marvel to recast the character, especially if they're doing like a younger like storyline, and go with someone new, or if they're going to continue the Guardians or Avengers storylines with those characters, he wants someone else to play the part, which got me to thinking, like, I mean, we've had recastings in Marvel before, but Marvel's done such a great job with casting. I mean, they do a great job with everything. So it's just kind of like, that's so I mean, I can't really see someone else playing Drax. I mean, do y'all have anybody in mind who could play Drax going forward?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Another wrestler.
That's it. Man. And he's bald already, so it's perfect.
He's not nearly as big though.
Fine. Vin Diesel.
Oh God, no.
Also not
Groot.
Nearly as big.
He's Groot.
I know.
Yeah, that Groot role is very demanding.
I don't know. I'm trying to
think a lot of dialogue.
Who are other bald actors that you think would be great for this role? Which I'm only thinking of The Rock. Hey, yeah. That could work.
Yeah, but then that means he has to work with Vin Diesel, and they can't stand each other. That's why The Rock's got his own, franchise.
I doubt they'll have to be in the same room together.
I know.
Vin Diesel, all he has to say is 3 fucking words. He'll be fine.
And he says it in many different languages too. I am Groot. No, not really.
Right.
I don't know. Okay, so backtrack first. With Dave Bautista saying that after he's done playing Drax, he wants Marvel to recast. Now that's assuming that Marvel is going to keep his character alive. I mean, they could potentially kill him off in, Guardians, let's say, right? So
that's true.
So my whole thing with that is, that's one possibility. Then Dave is just, completely out of Marvel's, contract altogether. I don't know too many people that, wrestler or not, have that capability of like, beefing up, going bald. Sure, actors do that all the time. I was initially going to possibly say Tom Hardy, but he's Venom, so that doesn't work out.
And he's also not big enough. I mean, Dave Bautista's a big dude.
I understand that, yeah. But I mean, we saw Tom, put on the muscle when he was Bane. Right. So it is possible, but obviously conflict, with Venom. I don't know who I'd replace Dave Bautista with necessarily. I mean, if you want to keep with the wrestling kind of, casting, cool, but like I don't know anything about wrestling in general. I don't know if there's any up and coming individuals that could, replace him or cast an unknown. But then again, you have like a precedent that Dave Bautista has established. Granted, the storyline's not the same from the comics. He's a little bit more of a comedic relief, but that person's got to be able to deliver in that respect. So that's tough. That's really tough.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's you're gonna have to go down the bodybuilder wrestler kind of road, but I think it's gonna have to be kind of an unknown person, I believe, that has a lot of charisma, and that's hard to.
Conor McGregor. No, I'm just kidding.
He's not nearly as big.
Yeah, he's way too small.
I was just saying, character, animation, the guy.
He's gonna have an Irish accent. Imagine the Irish accent.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know what Marvel intends to do. Obviously, I mean, if they kill off Drax's character, then that's one less character they've got to worry about. I mean, hell, they killed off, Black Widow, for God's sake, and she was, pretty up there.
I'd rather see them kill off Drax, because I don't really care about his character, dude. So for them to recast that, I don't even care enough for that later on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, he's not a major character by any means, but I do think it would be weird for the current Guardians cast to continue and have a different person in that role. I mean, obviously Marvel's done recastings before. We've had two different people play the Hulk. We've had two different people play
Technically three.
Yeah.
Because you had Eric Bana.
But in the MCU. Yeah, okay. In the MCU. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, for Spider-Man, we've had 3 Spider-Man too, but only one in the MCU.
One in the MCU.
So it's happened before, but
yeah.
So this got me to this question of like, okay, so if we could recast a Marvel character, an MCU character, who would it be and why? Now, I'll say this for everybody. This is a tough question because Marvel's done so well with casting. They've hit a home run basically with every character. I mean, I went through all the characters over the last week or so, and I mean, I have a couple options, but none of them are great options. And so I'll throw it to y'all. Brittany, start off. If you could recast an MCU character, who would it be and why?
So I can only answer part of that question. I think the one character, and maybe this would be the one character that we all agree on, is Brie Larson for Captain Marvel. Not my favorite movie. I mean, it had its strengths to some degree, but I know Frank was very, very passionate about Brie Larson being cast as Captain Marvel because of the fact that like she just didn't quite deliver in that role. Like if you guys have watched 21 Jump Street, she was hilarious in my opinion, playing off of Jonah Hill and what have you. I just don't feel like
she was in that movie.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, she was the high school girl that Jonah Hill kind of was into.
That was her?
Yeah, that's her. Yes.
Jesus.
The more you know. Ding ding ding. But the fact that seeing her as Captain Marvel, like the comedic timing was really off, it seemed. Like where she should have been funny, she wasn't. And even when she wasn't funny, she still wasn't. So I think that was a miss. But I don't know who I'd replace her with. I just feel like she just ultimately didn't deliver in that role. And unless I can think of someone else, that's the only person I can think of that Marvel should just reconsider. George, what about you?
Who was your replacement?
I don't have one.
Okay.
I don't know who I'd replace her with, because
I see.
I don't know enough about Captain Marvel to be able to, offer a solution for her role, unless you do. And I like to hear.
No, I don't. It wasn't for that. That wasn't the character. I only had one character, which, and I think this just speaks to Marvel because they just do so good at casting. Which I don't even have a complaint about this person. I just would have liked to see what it would have sounded like for Rocket the Raccoon to be voiced by Adam Sandler. Because I feel like he has that voice, like I don't know, like he has that silly voice, like I don't know, I just think it would have sounded funny,
because that's a really good one, because Bradley Cooper's a great actor, but like it is such a weird, like, who he is and his voice compared to Rocket. It doesn't
sound like that at all.
No, I mean, like it's worked because we're so used to it now. But you're right. Like, I think that's a good one. Adam Sandler as Rocket Raccoon would be pretty good. I mean, I think it'd be more. I mean, Rocket's obviously very comedic, but I think it would be more maybe sillier a little bit. But
but he can change his voice. Like I'm sure he can make, like. I mean, Bradley Cooper did it, but I just mean, like, he's already funny. He has like the comedic timing would be great still. I just thought it would have been interesting to hear him as Rocket the Raccoon.
That's really good.
And that's it.
That's
the only one I can think of. Everything else, I think everybody was perfectly casted.
So what are your thoughts about Brie Larson? Because that's my person. Like, what are your thoughts on her?
I mean, I agree with y'all, but I don't know who I'd replace her with.
Right.
Like, because I don't even know. And that's for a character I don't really care about. So
right.
Yeah, and that was it. It poses a really good question in general, because the fact that Justin and we all already said it, that Marvel has just done a really top-notch job in casting these people, even with like minor characters that, so for example, other characters that I don't care about, and I don't care about the actor, but I still wouldn't replace him. One of them, for example, is Sam Rockwell. I don't care for him as an actor, but I think he did an amazing job being Justin Hammer. I think he brought a lot to that character and just performed like he was. When he wanted to be vicious, he kind of was, and then when he wanted to be silly, he also was. So like that dynamic worked out. I think when Marvel did recast Terrence Howard for Don Cheadle, I think that was for the better.
Yeah, way better.
Way better. And I know with the situation at the time that Terrence Howard was the most paid actor on that movie, but the camaraderie that you see between Robert Downey and Don Cheadle, it just works. It's like they bounce off each other, and it's very fitting. So in that respect, that would probably been my other one. I didn't care for Terrence Howard as Rhodey, but he was already recast. I do like the fact that Mark Ruffalo was recast for Hulk. I still would have loved to see Edward Norton, but I think Edward Norton said it himself. He was going to take Hulk in a different direction versus what we got with Mark Ruffalo. But that's the thing. Like, again, there's some other characters out there that I don't like care about, but that's not to say that the actors didn't perform. Even with like, it's my least favorite Iron Man movie, Iron Man 3, and you have Guy Ritchie being Aldrich, Killian or whatever his name was. I think he's a fantastic actor.
Guy Pearce.
Did I not? Oh, I said Guy Ritchie. My bad. Guy Pearce. Thank you for the correction. Him being Aldrich Killian or whatever his name was.
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic actor. Didn't care for the role, but he's still a fantastic actor, But I don't know who I'd replace him with either. It's not that he didn't deliver. I just didn't care for the character, So that's kind of what it is.
What's yours, Justin? Let's see yours.
So like my first thought was the same thing Brittany had. In fact, I thought about this right away. It had to be Captain Marvel because that's my least favorite movie. But then, the thing about Captain Marvel is, Brie Larson, like, I don't think she was very good in her solo movie, but I think she was pretty good in Endgame, and she looks the part. And so, like, I can't really.
I hated that haircut.
Yeah, but I mean that's a comic thing. So I mean, I thought she was fine in Endgame, and so obviously the solo movie made $1 billion, so there's no reason to change that, despite me not liking the movie. So I have two others. Like I said, they're kind of based on contingency, but I was thinking, if Chris Evans doesn't return, like if they decide to never bring back Steve Rogers, or if they decide to bring back Steve Rogers and Chris Evans doesn't want to return, I would like to see John Krasinski as Captain as or Steve Rogers, because he was in the running back in the day with Chris Evans.
He was.
Obviously, he might be Mr. Fantastic, so this might be completely a moot point.
Yeah,
but I think he would do a good job, and I don't think I would have said that a couple of years ago. But seeing him in different like war movies and the Jack Ryan series, like it looks like he could do that, and it would be kind of seamless, I think. But then again, Chris Evans is younger than John Krasinski, so if he wants to come back, he'll come back. They'll make it worth his while to return.
You're making me think now, because I would have never considered the recasting of Chris Evans as Captain America. I mean, just never. We've talked about how Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Chris Evans is Captain America. So that's why like those major roles would have never popped in my head about recasting. But now that you're talking about it, and it seems like, maybe we have to go a little bit younger in a way to try to like match up the age per se. Taron Egerton just popped in my head, and Taron is from Kingsman. I think I'm also partial because he's adorable, but the fact that I wonder how he would do in a Marvel type movie or any superhero type movie.
Captain America.
That's what I was gonna say initially.
No.
It's just like, no.
British.
Wow, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough. No, I don't know. He just popped in my head. I wonder how he.
I'd love to see him in the MCU, but not. I don't think as Captain America.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have never considered like a recast for Captain America, like at all. I think it still would be weird to see John Krasinski, even back then, up against Chris Hemsworth and everyone else, Robert Downey Jr. To me, just I don't know. It's Jim Halpert as America's first super soldier is just crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's true. So my actual answer, and this is, I mean, obviously this is not going to happen because we know this isn't going to happen, but I would recast T'Challa.
For who?
No, I don't know who the actor would be. I'd probably bring in an unknown actor or somebody, some new actor. Or it could be an established actor. I don't really have the person in mind, but I think like the character, kind of deserves to continue on because he only had one solo film. He was only in a couple other movies. Obviously they're gonna explain all that stuff in the Wakanda Forever movie, but that's the only one I could really come up with to where you'd want to see more of that character. So
yeah.
Well, I don't know how to feel about that. If they actually did recast and know someone else, it'd just be weird, especially since he passed away. Like I don't know, that'd be very weird to me. I'd rather just continue on with something else.
Yeah, I
mean, it definitely would be, but then you have to consider like, what if Robert Downey Jr. would have died after Iron Man 1, or what if no, but you know what I'm saying, like they would have continued the character.
Yeah,
I mean, if they did that with Fast and the Furious after Paul Walker's untimely death, then I get your point.
Well, I mean, that's different, Brittany, because that's all about family, and so family has to soldier on.
The Avengers are a family, okay? The Avengers are a family.
Basically, yep.
Right. But you know what I mean? Like, if someone, if Michael Keaton would have died after the first Batman, they would have made another Batman. Same thing for Superman, whatever. So
they're still doing it.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously,
you're right.
I mean, they're gonna do whatever they do with Wakanda Forever, it's going to be cool, I'm sure. Like they're so
Mhm.
well at doing that, but I do think that character deserves to continue on in some form or fashion, just because like that character is the Black Panther for the most part in the comics. You know what I mean? Like it obviously it's a terrible tragedy that Chadwick Boseman died, um, and he elevated this character to this point where, you know, people who like me, I didn't know much about the character at all, and now I'd want to see more of that character. So anyway, like we said, Marvel's done such a good job with casting. This was just like, you know, kind of a funny thing to talk about, just because, you know, I'd never even thought of this until this popped in my head last week. You know, like
Yeah.
because they do such a good job. Um,
I feel
but
like if this question was asked towards the DC universe, I think it would have been a lot easier to like come up with, you know, multiple characters to replace.
I think you can say that, but I don't know. I can't name too many. I mean, okay, I know there's one I know for sure, and that's Lex Luthor. I would definitely not have Jesse Eisenberg be Lex Luthor. But outside of that, I think they did a good job with casting. I mean, I'm not a huge Ezra Miller fan for The Flash, but I mean, literally every other character, I think they did a good job with.
No, I refuse to accept Ben Affleck as Batman. Refuse. Bring back Christian Bale.
Do you think Robert Pattinson's going to be better?
No. No, and you know, he might. In fairness, he actually might. He might surprise us all. I'm not a fan of the actor in general, so it's kind of like whatever role they take on, it's just like I feel like obligated to not like it in a way. I don't know. I feel the same way about Will Ferrell. Like I don't care for him as an actor. I mean, maybe I only liked him in Step Brothers, but when I saw him, because I was late to the game with The Office, when I saw him in The Office, I was just like, no, don't like this. I don't like it at all. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's hard to be bad as Batman, because I don't think we've really ever had a bad Batman. We've had bad Batman movies. I mean, you know, Batman versus Superman, but like okay, so like the worst Batman movie, I think everyone agrees, is Batman and Robin. And George Clooney was Batman. He wasn't a bad Batman / Bruce Wayne. It just was a terrible, like weird movie.
He says he wishes he never did it. He has come out to say that he wishes he never took on that role.
I mean, he was very successful before and successful after, so he didn't need Batman. But like,
yeah,
even with Val Kilmer, like he was a good Batman in Batman Forever. I like
that one, yeah.
And it was a continuation of the Michael Keaton character, and so was George Clooney. They are three completely different looking people, but I think they all did a good job. Yeah. I mean, on Titans, you have Jorah Mormont as Bruce Wayne. I think he's a good Batman. Bruce Wayne. Yeah, he's a great Batman. Like, I think it's really hard to be bad as Batman. I mean, you might not like the actor, like you don't like Ben Affleck, but I think Ben Affleck is a pretty good Batman. Like, and maybe the best Bruce Wayne. Like, he's like really good.
It's hard to mess up that role.
I have a question because I'm now like fixated on this.
Okay.
How do we feel about Ben Affleck as Daredevil?
Have y'all seen the movie?
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in years either. But you know, that's one of those movies where people completely hate on that movie. But like, I remember at the time seeing it, thinking it was fine. Like, I'm the same way with Green Lantern.
Yeah,
I've seen Green Lantern a couple times. I don't think it's that bad. Like, it's not great, but it like everybody makes fun of it. Like, it's like this awful piece of garbage, and it's like Ryan Reynolds is still he's still Ryan Reynolds in the movie. Like, he's still pretty funny, and like, I don't understand the hate for the movie. It's not the greatest movie, but not terrible.
Yeah.
He just found his purpose as Deadpool. I mean, let's just face it.
Yeah, he found a better role. But
you've got actors who I feel that are just forever going to be a certain character. Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, and so on and so forth. So I mean, that's fine. You know, they found their niche in that respect. But yeah, just going back to Ben Affleck, no.
Yeah. Well, to keep the casting thing going as a topic, I'm gonna throw this to George, because George, you had an interesting idea. You were saying before the show that, you know, what about like for future MCU roles? Who would you like to cast, or who would you like to see play certain roles? So who do you have in mind for that?
So like Fantastic Four is one that we were talking about. I think I saw a meme for like the whole cast of It's Always Sunny as
I saw
the
that
Fantastic
too.
Four.
I saw it.
That would be my dream cast just because it's so fucking funny to me. But that I don't know. Like for The Thing, maybe Vin Diesel would be interesting. A voice Vin. I don't know. Like him as The Thing, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know who I'd want for what's her name? I was gonna say Elastigirl. Like
I think it's Sue Storm, maybe.
Yeah, Sue Storm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have a Human Torch. Flame, something.
Yeah, I don't know about those two, but what about y'all for that movie specifically?
I don't care enough about the movie to care about who's cast, truthfully.
Well, see, if you casted it, then you'd be excited for it.
Maybe so. No, that for me right now, I'd have to really ponder on the characters themselves, and then of course like actors and actresses who could fulfill those characters. I know Justin, you know, off screen you were talking about how Emily Blunt, John Krasinski's wife, was talking about how, you know, she doesn't like superhero movies or whatever, but there's talk that maybe she'll possibly join her husband in the Fantastic Four movie, which would be, to me, it's just kind of weird. I mean, I know they starred together in Quiet Place, but I don't see either one of them being a superhero of sorts. I don't see it.
I don't think she's going to be in the movie.
Not her.
From all accounts, it sounds like she doesn't want to be a part of it. But John Krasinski's the opposite. He really wants to be a part of these movies. He likes the movies. I could totally see him. Obviously, I thought he could be Captain America, so he could definitely, you know, be in these movies. But I think it would be an interesting storyline if, let's say, like they just decide to cast Krasinski as Captain America in the future, right? And then like 10 years from now, they do the Fantastic Four, and they cast him as Mr. Fantastic. They bring back Chris Evans to play
the Human Torch.
Yeah, the Human Torch. They're like do like the Spider-Man meme where they're like pointing at each other or whatever.
God.
Yeah, that's funny.
Also, I would definitely bring back Jessica Alba.
For
who wouldn't?
Yeah, Sue Storm. Yeah, I would bring her back.
Who wouldn't?
The Thing is tough. Yeah, The Thing is tough. You know, actually, the guy that played the Thing in the originals, oh God, what's his name? He was on the Commish. He was on a bunch of shows. Like he was.
I know. Wasn't he on like a one of those TV, like the 24 or one of those shows?
Yeah, he was on a lot of stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
I thought he did a good job as the Thing. You know, and that could even be somewhat like an unknown person, because a lot of the time you're this giant orange rock monster kind of, you know. So
what about Dave Bautista?
He's
gonna need another role,
right?
George, you mentioned 24, and that made me, of course, think of Kiefer Sutherland. Can we get him in the MCU to be, you know, like a villain or something? I think he makes like a pretty fantastic villain, because I'm remembering Pompeii. He was one of the Roman senators in Pompeii. I don't know. I like Kiefer Sutherland. Jack Bauer, yeah, but I don't know. That was just a thought. But then one other thing, going back to the whole Captain America thing, Justin, I think it would be really funny, especially if it was ever teamed up again with Thor, would be Liam Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth's younger brother, who actually lost out the Thor role to his older brother. So that'd be kind of funny to bring in Liam to be Captain America, because he's kind of got that, you know, that look, I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. He does. Like
that would be interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I didn't think about that. That's a good
and then
one.
the third unknown Hemsworth was actually in Thor Ragnarok. He was playing, you know, as the actor Thor in the play about Loki.
How many brothers are there?
There's 3.
At least 3.
like the Skarsgards, dude. There's like an infinite number of them.
Okay, now on that, we do have the father. We've got Stellan Skarsgard, who is the I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but anyway, we've got him. Let's bring in one of his sons, not the one that plays it, because that's scary as fuck.
Alex, that one's probably good. I could see him as like a Captain America or something like that.
Maybe. He's kind of got like that time period, type face. Like he could fit into the 40s, really, really well. But that's putting Captain America back,
One of them is in the recent Kong versus Godzilla movie.
Yeah, Alex.
That's Alex. Yeah.
How many? Are there 3 Skarsgards?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think there's some sisters in there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. That'd be funny to make, Marvel this whole family, type event. You bring in Marvel's one big family, and you bring in all these other famous family actors, and into it. I don't know. That'd be silly.
Yeah.
The Liam Hemsworth thing might be something to consider. Just saying. I like looking at him too.
Yeah. Maybe so. I didn't even think. I mean, I know he's been in some stuff, but I couldn't name a movie he's been in off the top of my head.
The Expendables, was it 3? What's the one that has Jean-Claude Van Damme?
All those movies are so fucking bad, dude. It's crazy.
I like the movie that has when Wesley Snipes is in it, and he's talking about he had been in jail for tax evasion, and he's like, oh, I can't do anything, I don't have my shit or whatever, and then Stallone like brings forth his shit. He's like, that's my shit. Anyway, that's like the one funny line I remember.
That's funny.
But yeah,
I haven't seen those movies. There's like
3 of them. Yeah,
3 or 4. Yeah,
I like the first one. I will admit I do like the first one. The others are just silly.
It's like the Fast and the Furious movie.
It is.
They just keep like reaching next level like of absurdness. Like this shit would never happen.
Justin, like the third Expendables, I know we're like totally off script and off tangent, but third one has Stallone, everyone who's part of the Expendables. Right. And they've got Chuck Norris, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they've got like just all these, badass people. Yeah. And it's just Chuck Norris makes a Chuck Norris joke, it's ridiculous. My God. I might go rewatch those movies now. Thanks. Moving on.
Well, if you're going to rewatch those movies, you definitely need to watch Army of the Dead.
No.
Or Wonder Woman 84 or one of those movies.
Oh, no.
No. I refuse.
So moving on. So it was announced this week or recently by Marvel that Shang-Chi will have a regular theatrical release.
Okay.
Meaning it'll only be in the theaters, and then apparently they say 45 days after that it will be on, I guess, Disney Plus or on video on demand. So
okay,
nice. That's exciting.
And that movie comes out September 3rd.
So it'll be on Disney Plus, like to purchase, like to rent.
I don't know.
Or just a stream, because that'd be kind of, I don't know.
Probably to purchase, because 45 days is not a long time.
It's not.
I would say after 4 months it'll probably be on there. Yeah, but I think there must be like a window of like once it's in theaters, 45 days later it could be on video on demand or maybe on DVD. But then it's gonna take a little bit longer for it to be on streaming platforms.
Yeah,
I think so.
Who knows? I am excited for the movie though, so that's cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all saw this, but I noticed this yesterday on Twitter. Robert Downey Jr. and his wife are producing a movie for Netflix. It's called Sweet Tooth. But get this, it's based on a DC comic.
Really? No,
yeah.
Never heard of it.
It looks interesting. It's about some kid that has like antlers. He's grown antlers. Like it's almost like if y'all have ever seen the Fall Out Boy video for Sugar We're Going Down. It's almost like that. It's probably a reference lost on some people. But I don't know. Check it out. The trailer's on social media. I think it's already on Netflix too. So
does everyone in the movie have to have deer whistles on their cars? because the kid has antlers.
It would help. It would help to avoid hitting them with your car.
Mm-hmm.
That's an inside joke. Okay. So earlier we talked about Don Cheadle. Well, he made a little bit of news a couple days ago when he mentioned that Michael Jordan is going to be in Space Jam 2.
Yep.
Which I was stunned by this news. Well, I hope that would make it awesome if Jordan has to, LeBron has to team up with Jordan to beat the.
That's not going to happen.
No.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. It's going to be a cameo, dude. It's not even going to be like a real role.
Yeah. It'll be a very small role, but I didn't think he was going to be in it at all. So I was pretty surprised by that.
What's that meme from his documentary where like everyone's
and I took that personally.
There you go. It's gonna be that, so, like LeBron's gonna say something and then it's gonna like cut to Michael and he's gonna say just that and that's his cameo and be done.
That'd be funny.
That would be.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the movie though. It looks cool. I mean,
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll check it. It's one of those HBO Max releases. I think it's in July.
Speaking of HBO Max releases, did y'all watch that Angelina Jolie movie?
I haven't yet. No,
it's fucking terrible.
I'm not surprised.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh God! Did what's his name who played Littlefinger? Like, did his accent change throughout the movie? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, it did. He wasn't throughout the movie, not really, but he was just pretending to have an American accent. Dude, the villain in this movie was Tyler Perry. What the fuck?
As Tyler Perry or
as Medea? Yeah.
As Tyler Perry. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. It made no sense. It was
weird.
The stupidest movie I've ever seen. Honestly, Kong. I know I get a lot of shit. Kong Godzilla was better than this fucking movie.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
I can believe that because just now when you mentioned Angelina Jolie, I was thinking, what movie has she been in that I liked? And I can't think of a single movie.
Did you all ever see? I think it was Clint Eastwood movie called Changeling, and it had Angelina Jolie. It's based off like true events, and I will say her performance in that movie was phenomenal. So phenomenal. I do enjoy her in Salt. It's kind of one of my like guilty pleasure movie type things. She was like a Russian agent who, works for the CIA, and Liev Schreiber, who played Sabretooth in the X-Men films, is in it too. I like to see him also come back in the Marvel universe. Sorry. But anyway, I like her in a couple of movies. I mean, the Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that's fine.
We'll see how she does in the Eternals.
Yeah, that is going to be very interesting. She's going to be the Eternals.
Good point.
Wow, Justin, you forgot. Aw.
I mean, there's so many people in that movie.
That's very true. Cast. That's a huge cast. Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Selma Hayek in the movie personally.
She has aged so well. She honestly has. I was rewatching Grown Ups 2 at my brother-in-law's house the other day, and I was looking at her, then looking at Adam Sandler, and I'm like, damn, she's too hot for him. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's insane.
No, but another movie that I watched that y'all should check out that was actually good. It was the Woman at the Window. It's on Netflix. And I don't know if it's just like a fucking bonus episode of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, because they're literally on that movie. Like
God.
Sam plays like the lady's husband, and Wyatt Russell plays like one of the tenants that lives downstairs. It's pretty crazy. It's a trippy movie. It's like one of those psychological thrillers and like murder mystery type shit.
See, the title itself made me think of The Woman in Black, and I'm like, no, I'm not. No, that movie scared the shit out of me. Like, no, that's too much. But
not a scary movie.
Not a scary movie. More of a psychological thriller. So it's kind of like The Others. Okay, get it.
Something like that. Yeah. Basically the plot is this lady has agoraphobia and she can't leave her house. So she just stares and watch people's lives through the window.
That is creepy. Okay.
Yeah. Amy Adams is the lead character. I haven't seen it yet, but
it's good.
It looks good. I think right now it's the number one thing on Netflix.
That's great.
She's another one I don't care for.
I get her confused with a lot of people.
Isla Fisher. Who's the other one? I can't think off the top of my head.
Borat's wife.
That's Isla Fisher.
Okay, yeah. Her. The chick from House of Cards that has red hair too.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I'm confused.
I get her confused with Bryce Dallas Howard because I think they look very, very much alike.
I don't know.
So,
There's all the redheads.
There's so few of them too.
There is.
There really is. Goodness.
Yeah. So obviously Amy Adams played Lois Lane, and transition. Superman and Lois is back this week on the CW. It's been gone for 7 weeks. They had a little hiatus for COVID, but it returns this week. So I'm excited about that. I know that y'all don't watch the show, but
Frank does.
Show. Yeah, Frank watched it.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, he and Nathan were not able to join us today, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, talking about Amy Adams, well, she played Lois Lane, but her movie Superman was Henry Cavill. And news came out this week that he's returning in Enola Holmes 2, which is the kid sister of Sherlock Holmes movie that's on Netflix. There's going to be an Enola Holmes 2 with Millie Bobby Brown returning as the title character.
That's exciting.
George, have you seen that movie?
I did not.
It's okay. I think it came out last year. Yeah, it's not too bad. Check
it out. It's a charming movie. She breaks the fourth wall. But I think it's very well done. It's a pretty good cast. It's got Millie Bobby Brown, Henry Cavill as Sherlock, Sam Carfin or Carflin. I can't pronounce his last name. He's Mycroft, and it's got Helena Bonham Carter as the mother. It's a pretty decent story. I really enjoyed it. Check it out. I'm excited for the second one.
The list.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So yeah.
Speaking of Sherlock, Justin, did you finish yet?
I finished it.
What did you think?
So I like it overall. I understand why people like it. I think the episodes. Okay, so for me, because I was under a time crunch and had to literally I was watching it up to the wire to because it left Netflix on May 14th, so I finished it that day. I think because of the fact that I was trying to binge it, I wish the episodes would have been 45 minutes instead of an hour and a half. I just feel like the episodes were too long.
It's very long. It's like a movie.
Yeah, every episode's like a movie. Now again, if I were a fan from day one and I waited a long time for these episodes and you only got 3 a season, then I would understand them being an hour and a half. So I get that. Overall, I think Sherlock is he's almost my least favorite character in the show. He's just so horrible to everyone around him, to Mrs. Hudson, to Molly Hooper. He just treats these people horribly. And, obviously to John Watson. Maybe that's a Sherlock, trait or whatever throughout but seems like in other iterations of Sherlock, he's not as much of an asshole as he is in this show. And then I talked about last week, the whole looking at someone and being oh, he had a mayonnaise sandwich on Thursday, and so that means he's a killer and he has a cat. It's just I don't know. It's too ridiculous.
But that didn't always work. Think of the one person that he read and didn't read it correctly, so it doesn't always work. Yeah. I'm not trying to put spoilers out there for people who haven't caught up, but
I feel like if you haven't watched Sherlock by yet, you shouldn't worry about spoilers anymore.
Well, it's off Netflix now, so I don't know if it's going to be hosted on another streaming platform, but
it's a complicated show. You know what I mean? There's a lot to it. I don't know. I could really spoil it that much. I mean, there's certain characters I could say that maybe you're dead or maybe you're not. But
yeah.
Besides that, I couldn't really spoil a whole lot.
I get where you're coming from, Justin. I'm just because I'm completely biased because it's Benedict Cumberbatch. I do obviously get where Sherlock's personality is a very tough pill to swallow because he is such he's brilliant, but amongst his siblings, spoiler, he's the least intelligent out of them. So to see that dynamic, but to also understand that he is the way that he is because he's a high functioning sociopath, or there's even been talk that maybe he has Asperger's syndrome or, some kind of form of autism. And that's just why he behaves the way that he does, is because the social norms are not apparent to him. So, and he does admit that in one of the episodes during the wedding, during his best man speech, that he doesn't notice the beautiful or the, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, he is who he is, I guess. But yeah, I'm glad you finished it. I will say it for the record one more time, that when we went into quarantine, I did tell Justin that he could finally watch Sherlock, and he waited up until the last minute to watch it. So you brought this upon yourself.
But he did it.
He did do it. I'm proud of you. Yay.
Honestly,
we can stay friends forever.
Well, that's good. I honestly forgot that it was on Netflix. Has it been on? No, I'm being completely serious. Has it been on Netflix that whole time?
A long time.
Really?
Long time. Because the season 4 premiered. No, it premiered on BBC. What am I saying? Or PBS, whatever it was. But it went
in
on
America.
Yeah, PBS in America. But it did go to Netflix rather quickly once.
Oh, that's interesting.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's a hit or miss sometimes trying to find like certain shows that are, BBC related. I know if I wanted to watch Sherlock, I couldn't find it unless it was on Netflix. But now that it's off Netflix, now I got to go buy the complete.
But I bet you that's probably where it's going to land. It's going to be HBO.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. Yeah. I'm going to have to check it out. Do some research. No, because while you were rewatching it, Justin, I was also rewatching it, and I know George says that season 2 is probably the best, which I completely agree. I love season 2, but the second to last episode in season 4 that had Toby Jones in it as the philanthropist, entrepreneur, or whatever you want to call him, his character as a serial killer was just so well done. It was such a good story, and then that final problem episode with the unknown Holmes was really, really great. So I would have loved for them to have come back with another season, but
yeah, I think that show, every episode is so complex and there's so many layers. That's got to be a hard show to continue, because it's like it feels like they pull out all the stops in every episode, and then it's a certain point, it's like, how many more ideas can we, because every show has like 50 ideas. And so it's it's like jam packed with all kinds of stuff. And you're never sure, like, a character you may see in the first 5 minutes who like appears to be a side character may end up being the villain of the episode, or it's just,
Right. Or that the character who's a partner to one of the main characters is actually the real life partner to that actor, Martin Freeman, and Amanda, what was her last name? Anyway, she was Mary Watson in the show. She was actually Martin Freeman's real life partner, and then they separated, and then something happened to her character in season 4, and there we go.
Yeah, her storyline, I didn't see that coming at all. I mean,
yeah, that was a great storyline.
Yeah, honestly, with that show, I couldn't predict anything. Like, it was just like constantly, just there's
a lot of twists and turns for sure with that show. But I do like how, the episodes, while they were long, they did lead up to like the overall, problem or the overall villain, that kind of thing. It took a while to get there, but I personally feel that it told an interesting story along the way. So yeah, I miss Sherlock. I should have worn my Sherlock shirt today. I am Sherlocked. Now that you understand the reference, Justin, you understand.
Now I get it. Yeah, did not get that before, but I got it now. Yeah. The last thing I was going to talk about is I've watched some more stuff on Apple Plus TV. Mm-hmm. I've watched a show called The Servant. Have you seen that, George?
Ooh.
I've
heard about it.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan story.
Oh,
yeah. I've watched about 4 episodes of that. It's pretty bizarre.
Is that the one that has Rupert Grint in it?
Yep.
Yes, Ron Weasley.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, he's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the first episode of the Mosquito Coast.
Mm-hmm. What you think?
I like it. I mean, I there's a lot of it that I still don't like. After watching the first episode, it doesn't connect all the dots.
Yeah,
Not by any means. Like it's still very unclear like what's going on exactly.
What he did. Yeah. Yeah, you won't find that out till later. So you got to keep watching.
So you're caught up. There's like 4 or 5 episodes out right now.
There's just 4 right now. 4. Every Friday there's a new episode.
Right.
So now you have something to look forward to on Fridays.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah. This latest episode was pretty good. A lot of action.
I'm gonna have to sign up for that Apple Plus TV and catch up with you guys, because I had time. I have time right now to sit and kind of binge some shows.
Good. Did you watch the Defending Jacob? Did you start that one?
I haven't started it yet. No.
Dude, that's the best show on Apple TV. So just watch that one first, because that one's really good.
It's only like 6 episodes, I think.
Yeah, that one and the morning show is pretty good too.
The morning show, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch?
Ted Lasso's pretty good.
Yeah, that one's funny. That's a good feel-good show. That's just like a funny show.
Yeah, I enjoyed Ted Lasso a lot. Yeah, there's a lot more on that app than I thought. I didn't, like I said, because I got a new iPhone like a year ago, I got this free subscription for like a year, and I haven't really looked into it till recently, and it's about to run out like in a month or so. But yeah,
you just like watching things up to the wire, right?
Well, I mean, I hadn't really heard of anything on Apple TV Plus besides Ted Lasso that people were talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of all the streamers, I think it's better than I thought it was, but it's, it doesn't have the content of, Netflix or Disney Plus or it's HBO Max or it's a much more limited library, but the stuff's cool. I mean, I like it so far, so
nice.
I'll probably keep watching some of those shows.
Yay.
Do it.
What have y'all been watching?
Me still just The Handmaid's Tale. I need to catch up on the latest episode of The Good Doctor. Last week's episode kind of hit a little too close to home for me. It was very sad, and that's probably the only actual, like, I guess, network television that I watch. I still have my guilty pleasures of trash TV by, watching Teen Mom or, one of those trash TV reality shows, like I said. And I'm tonight, the next episode of, tonight as time of recording, is going to be the new episode for The Handmaid's Tale. So I will be doing my recap as quickly as possible to put on our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So it's strictly an audio only pod. But yeah, if you all out there are interested in The Handmaid's Tale, be sure to head over to our different audio podcasts. That way you can check out the 4th season, and the new one's going to be coming really soon. Yay.
Woo.
George, what have you been watching other than what we've already discussed?
Other than the Mosquito Coast, I just finished this series called Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know what to expect, but my friend told me to check it out. It's basically the easiest way I can describe this show is Black Mirror, but animated. And like, they're all short stories. They have nothing to do with each other. Each episode is different. And some of these episodes are pretty fucking weird. Like really weird, like CGI fucking and shit. Like it's weird. It gets crazy. But the animation is so realistic, like it almost looks real. That's what makes it
really.
Yeah.
Wow.
It almost looks like so real. And but there's different types of animation. So some looks like a Pixar movie, something else could be like hand drawn or something like that. It's really cool. Like artistic wise, it's really good, and the stories are pretty great. So that's what I've been watching.
Very nice.
Yeah, I looked it up, and like, you're right, the episodes are like, some are like 11 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah,
they're all short stories. It literally took me like less than a day to watch the seasons.
Because there's two seasons,
volumes.
Right?
Yeah, 2 volumes. Yeah, it's not that many.
Justin,
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really, besides Sherlock and the stuff that I've talked about, that's what I've been watching. So,
well, I'm gonna throw out something for y'all if you're interested, because we do talk about, behind the scene type stuff. I recently came across on Netflix behind the scenes with The Witcher. So they do just kind of like an overall, like, this is how we developed the
Watch that
show. Did you? Have you watched the episodes?
Each
yet?
one? No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. Yeah, that was too much. I was like, no.
So yeah, Justin, I'm gonna throw that out to you too, to maybe check it out. Maybe that'll help explain a little bit more of The Witcher. I know not the best for you, so I still enjoy it.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah. So
I mean, I think for me, like season 2 of the show will be better than season 1. I think it would almost have to.
Yeah, now that we're caught up and they explained the timeline stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's apparently the only way that the showrunner was able to pitch the show in general, is have 3 timelines be told all at once. And
I hope they don't do that for the second season.
I hope they don't do that either.
That'd be very annoying.
It would be. It really would be. But yeah, no, that's just something maybe to check out. I haven't watched the inside the episodes either, but I'm probably gonna go back and do that at some point. So yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. Brittany, how can people find us on social media?
Simple. Just search for The Watchers in the Basement on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you can be the first to find out the latest video uploads from us. Leave us a comment and a like. We'd really appreciate it. We do respond to your comments, and please, for God's sakes, please share our podcasts with others. That way we can grow our following. Be really great. If you're not into video podcasts, I did mention earlier about finding us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, thanks to anchor.fm. Leave us a 5-star rating, because eventually we would like to do this as our full-time job. Help us out. And last but not least, if you do want us to review anything, be sure to use the hashtag WatchersBasement when tweeting at us, or Facebook, Instagram, whatever the case may be. Don't forget, once again, to use hashtag WatchersBasement, and we will review whatever it is that you are watching.
Yeah, and let us know which MCU characters you'd like to see recast, if anybody. Maybe I think George had the best one so far, having Adam Sandler voice Rocket.
That's
that would be awesome. I wasn't thinking about that. So if you have if you have some interesting recast things, please share them with us, and we'll talk about it on the next week's show, maybe.
Oh, yeah, we do have that post out on all of our social media platforms. So yeah, leave a comment even here on YouTube, and just let us know. That'd be cool.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks, Brittany. So for Brittany, for George, this is Justin saying we'll see you next week when we review Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. We have to.
Brittany, are you gonna watch it? I was gonna say, how are we gonna review it if Brittany's not even gonna watch it?
Yeah, we need to get the other guys back on here. If I gotta suffer, everyone's gotta suffer. So
it's on Netflix.
I don't do zombie movies.
Well, I don't really either, but like it looks cool.
Yeah.
Just watch the trailer and let me know what you think.
Fine, right. I'll do it. Yeah, we'll come back and review that, and I will be back later this week too for my recap of The Handmaid's Tale. So y'all stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next week. Bye-bye.